As the wind came howling down from the mesas that night, carrying dust, the scent of rain, and the distant echo of coyotes. It was the kind of cold that bit straight through a man's bones. Luke Harding, a lonely rancher, was patching the barn door when he saw a shadow stumble through the storm. He thought at first it was a coyote, but then the shadow fell and didn't move. Luke grabbed his lantern, trudged into the wind, and found her. A young woman, half frozen, covered in dust and blood. Her dark hair was tangled with feathers, her clothes torn. Apache. Her lips trembled as she whispered, barely audible over the storm, "Just shelter me tonight." Luke hesitated. Out here, helping an Apache could mean trouble. The town didn't take kindly to it. But he looked at her again. Her eyes were full of fear and exhaustion, not danger. "Come on," he said finally. "You'll freeze to death out here." He lifted her gently, carried her inside, and laid her by the fire. She didn't speak much at first. Her name was Naya. She had walked 3 days through the desert, running from bounty hunters who'd burned her camp after accusing her tribe of stealing cattle. Luke didn't ask questions. He gave her water, bandaged her arm, and let her rest on a cot near the fire. That night the rain came down hard, drumming on the roof. Luke sat across the room, pretending to read an old Bible, but he kept glancing at her. She was so still, so fragile, he thought she might vanish come morning. Then she spoke softly, "Why did you help me?" He looked up. "Because I've seen enough people die in this land. Don't matter what color their skin is." She smiled faintly. "You're different." He shrugged, just tired of hate. When dawn came, Naya tried to leave. "I can't stay," she said. "If they find me here, they'll kill you too." Luke walked to the window. The plain stretched endless, gray and cold. "They won't find you," he said. "Not if you stay till the storm clears." But it wasn't the storm outside that kept her. It was something quieter. Safety. Something she hadn't felt in years. So she stayed. Days turned into a week. She helped feed the horses, fetch water, mend fences. Luke found himself smiling again, something he hadn't done since the war took his brother. One night she brought him coffee and said, "Your land is beautiful. Why do you live here alone?" He stared into the fire. "Because I once believed in people, then people taught me not to." She said nothing, but her eyes softened. Maybe they were the wrong people. By the second week, trouble came. 3 riders appeared at the edge of Luke's land, bounty hunters. The leader, wearing a long duster, shouted, "We're looking for a runaway Apache girl. You seen her?" Luke's heart pounded. He glanced at the barn where Naya was hiding. He shook his head slowly. "Ain't seen nobody." The man spat. "Funny, her tracks lead straight to your land." Luke tightened his grip on the shotgun. "Tracks end here. You best move along." The bounty hunter grinned. "You protectin' her, old man, that's treason." Before he could finish, Luke fired into the dirt between the man's boots. The horses reared. "Next shot ain't for warnin'," Luke said coldly. The men cursed and rode off, disappearing into the storm. When Luke turned, Naya was standing behind him. Tears glistened in her eyes. "You risked your life," she said. He looked at her quietly. "You asked for shelter, I gave my word." Weeks passed. Spring came creeping through the valley. The snow melted and the wildflowers returned. Naya's strength came back and she began teaching Luke old Apache songs, songs of the earth, of forgiveness, of peace. Sometimes at dusk, they'd sit by the corral, watching the horses run free across the prairie. Luke would listen to her voice and realize that the silence in his heart was finally gone. But one morning she said softly, "It's time I go." He froze. "Go where?" "My people are out there, scattered and afraid. I have to find them. They need someone to lead them home." He nodded slowly, trying to hide the ache inside. "You'll always have a home here, Naya." She smiled, touched his rough hand. "And you'll never be alone again, Luke Harding." Then she rode off into the rising sun, her figure growing smaller until it vanished behind the hills. Months later, Travelers passing through the Carter Plains spoke of an Apache woman leading her people to new lands, a woman protected by a ghost rancher who appeared whenever her tribe was in danger. Luke never confirmed it, but sometimes, late at night, when the wind howled across the plains, he'd hear a soft voice carried in the storm. "Just shelter me tonight." And he'd whisper back always,